Girl, good girl. Oh, they're so nice. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. In this video, it is going to be very educational in my experiences of Sri Lanka. I'm going to be going over the negatives and positives of traveling to Sri Lanka. I just spent about 30 days traveling around the majority of the country, so I know what it's all about. Please join me in this video as I go over all of these tips and what you guys can expect traveling to Sri Lanka. And at the end of the video, I am going to reveal if I would suggest going to Sri Lanka or not. All right, let's dive in. All right, guys, so when I say this video will be educational, it won't be educational in the sense of history and dates and all that. It's going to be more informative of my experience of traveling the country, and you guys will hopefully learn a lot through what I just experienced. We'll go over the negatives and then we'll go over the positives. First off, they have two prices in Sri Lanka for the most part. You're gonna have local prices and tourist prices. I've never seen a country in my life where they have such a big difference in prices. They won't tell you most of the time, or they try not to tell you. Like renting a hotel for the night, you're gonna have locals are gonna be paying a lot less than if there's a foreigner, traveler, tourist. The prices are gonna be different. Same with food. Renting a motorbike. I mean, everywhere you go, there's gonna be different prices just because of your skin color. I call it skin tax. So there's some skin tax over there in Sri Lanka. And generally, I like to go to the countries. I go to these countries so I can get local prices. I don't want to travel halfway around the world and go to Sri Lanka and be paying tourist prices. I go to countries because I want to pay local prices. Although, in their defense, in Sri Lanka, it's a very rough life. They're making hardly any money to survive, so I can totally understand why they're trying to get an extra dollar, a couple dollars from a traveler or tourist. So I can totally understand, but that's something that's definitely popular in Sri Lanka, is different prices for foreigners to tourists. Secondly, going on the point that the life it's one of the roughest lives I have actually ever seen. I've been traveling around for 5-6 years now, and I'd say the country of Sri Lanka, that the people there, I'd say they have one of the hardest lives that I've seen in any country that I have been to so far. Just the overall population of Sri Lanka. A lot of the countries I'll go to, there might be a wealthy area in the country, wealthy people kind of sporadically around the country, but it seems like in Sri Lanka, the majority of everybody in the country is just really hurting, really struggling. People are working, 14, 15, 16 hours a day, 7 days a week, just to be able to provide for their family, provide for themselves to eat. So it is a very rough life that I've seen in Sri Lanka. Also, taxi drivers that I met, they're working 14 hours a day, 7 days a week. I met a guy at a little smoothie juice bar, and he works there. He doesn't even get no days off. He's there for 14 hours a day. He does have a little bedroom like back behind the kitchen, and I believe that's included with his pay. But he's making $100 a month, working 14 hours a day. He lives there. I'm sure the owner gives him food because it is like a little restaurant. So I'm sure room and board is included. But he gets $100 a month. So that just goes to show you how rough it is over there, trying to survive on $100 a month. If a local is making $200 a month, that's like really good. That's really, really good. And most of the people there, they're eating on maybe $2 a day, roughly. So another downside to Sri Lanka, in my opinion, is that there's hardly any nightlife. There's just, I mean, I was in Colombo, in the capital city, for a few nights, and I went up to a rooftop bar. It was either Friday or Saturday night. Beautiful view of the city, and I was like the only one there. It's just so dead. The nightlife in Sri Lanka, all around the country, generally by 6 o'clock in the evening, 6:30, it gets dark. There's just nothing going on. And same with the whole dating scene in Sri Lanka. I'd say that's a negative, because as a solo traveler like myself, I want to be able to get to know the locals, go on a few dates, but in Sri Lanka it was slim to none. I heard there's more women that are open to dating foreigners in the city of Colombo, but I was using dating apps, I was trying everything, and I couldn't even find one date in 1 month. The popular train ride from Ella to Kandy is apparently one of the most spectacular train rides in the world, they say. I personally did not do the train ride because I had motorbike, but I heard from lots of other travelers that it was a big hassle just trying to even get a ticket for the train ride. They had to book it like 2-3 days in advance, and those who didn't book in advance, they were waiting around in the town for 2-3 days until they can get a train ride out. And from what I heard, they made it seem like everybody on YouTube talks about how great this train ride is and how wonderful it is, but nobody on YouTube was talking about the downsides and the reality of the train ride and the logistics of even doing it. So just wanted to bring that to your guys' attention. Plan accordingly if you're going to be doing that train ride. So let's get to some positives of the country. First off, it is very cheap. Food, hotels, I was staying in $6 a night hotels. How can I complain about that? Some of my hotels were $15 right next to the ocean. Very hard to complain about that. Meals, I got the cheapest meal in my life for 45 cents. I got some awesome pizza. Most expensive meal I spent was like $6 for awesome pizza. So things are very cheap. I found it very difficult to find a way to spend more than $15 a day. On average, I was spending maybe $10, $12. I was trying to find ways to spend more money to do things, but between the cost of the food, the hotels, my motorbike, it's probably one of the cheapest countries I have ever been to in my life. I know Vietnam is cheap, Cambodia, but all in all, very affordable country to go to. You can live, there's no doubt in my mind, I could live over there a comfortable life for $700 a month. I mean, easily. And I know the locals are living over there for living on $200 a month, $300. So it's definitely a destination that that won't break the bank. Another positive of the country is that I felt very safe, very friendly people. There wasn't a single incident where I did not feel safe. Everywhere I went, you just put on a smile, everyone's going to be smiling back at you. There was no, I felt no danger at all. I was in some sketchy looking places in the country where most foreigners would probably never step foot in because of the areas that they're from. But the people here, they'll welcome you in like family in Sri Lanka. It's very friendly people and very, very safe. I had no problem. Another positive is that you can find just about everything grown in the country. Everything you can imagine. I didn't see one thing that I could think of that doesn't grow in Sri Lanka. From corn to carrots to cabbage to coconut trees, I mean, zucchini, you name it, they got it. They got like 12 different types of mangoes. Literally everything grows there, so it's always something to try. Tons and tons of vegetable stands, fruit stands. You can't go too far in Sri Lanka without seeing some fresh, organic food, which is absolutely amazing. Another positive is the landscape of Sri Lanka. There's so many beautiful, beautiful beaches there. The mountains, the highest elevation town there is about 6,000 feet. There's big mountains, there's waterfalls. The landscape is really cool in certain areas. I posted a video a couple videos back you guys can check out. Very beautiful country, the environment there, lots of monkeys. Now, one of my favorite things is just seeing elephants. There's not very many countries that you can go and be on a motorbike and see wild elephants on the road. It's pretty spectacular. You go hang out with elephants, just be aware of the wild elephants, learn about the safety. They're not the type of elephants where you can hang out with and hug and kiss. Do your research on the safety elephants, because you do not want to end up trampled and stomped on by one of those wild elephants. So I don't know if you would consider this a positive or a negative. It would differ from person to person, but I find it as a positive. I get a lot of attention in Sri Lanka, especially when I'm going off the beaten path. I'll walk into a restaurant and there'll be 10 or 15 people sitting in the restaurant, and I'll walk in and they'll kind of look at me with a blank face, just out of curiosity. It happens all the time on the street, wherever. And then I'll walk in, I'll go, hey, how are you doing? Hi, how you doing? And then everyone smiles and everyone says hi. Very, very friendly. But if you're not used to that type of attention and being friendly and being open and social with the locals there, and you're more kind of hidden, then it might feel more uncomfortable for you. But if you just introduce yourself, break the ice, the attention that you get over there can be fun. But I can understand for some people they would not like that type of attention. So, last tips. First off, I want to go over another positive is the police over there. They're very, very friendly, easy to talk to. And I got pulled over 3 times. And I saw no corruption from them. They never asked me for a bribe or anything. They were so kind, mainly because I was so kind to them. And they just let me go with warnings. And yeah, the police there, very important to have good police in Sri Lanka. They protect the tourists there, and you just feel good hanging out with the police. You can have open conversations with them. Hey, how's your family? How many kids you got? It's not like in America where I feel when I see a policeman, I just kind of keep to myself. But in Sri Lanka, the police are very outgoing, friendly, so it's really cool to even just have a small chat with them. So now on to my last tips. I would say travel with somebody to Sri Lanka, not in the sense of safety or danger, but in the sense of just having a companion to share experiences with. I found it pretty lonely in Sri Lanka just by myself. There's other countries where I love traveling alone, like Thailand, Philippines. I always meet so many other travelers. There's always something going on at nighttime, some live music. But in Sri Lanka overall, it's very, very quiet. So having a companion with you during your trip, I think would make the trip a lot more enjoyable. I wish I had more company with me during my trip instead of just editing these videos and at 6:30 being in bed just working. I'd rather go out and see some live music. But yeah, bring someone else with you if you have the opportunity. For me, I don't have a whole lot of friends who can just get up and meet me in Sri Lanka for a month of motorbiking. So if I want to go to countries, then I have to go by myself, because I don't have the friends or the people who can just get up and go and do what I do. So I'm left with no option other than to go by myself, which I love. Most of the time I love it. I'd say 90% of the time I love traveling alone, and then there's 10 or 15% of the time I wish I had somebody with me. So what else we got for you? Oh, and one more tip is the weather. Be sure to go during the appropriate times. I was there in December, where I heard on Google is the best time to be there, and it was nothing but rainy. After talking to locals, they said it generally gets nicer around February, March, April, May. So if you're able to plan your trip during those months, then make that happen, because I was in some torrential downpour, and if I wanted to go to where I wanted to go, then I would have to go through the rain. Lastly, would I recommend traveling to Sri Lanka? Absolutely. I would definitely recommend it. Go hang out with elephants, go hang out with monkeys, go to the mountains, go to the beach. Have yourself a great time for very little money compared to Western standards. You can have a great vacation there. Bring your loved one, your girlfriend, boyfriend, and spend about 2 weeks, 2-3 weeks max, and you'll have a great time in Sri Lanka. Would I ever go back to the country again in my life? I'd probably, if I had somebody to go with, and if I'm working on videos or something, I would. But if I was just to go back there to travel, I probably wouldn't go back. But one time in my life is definitely good. I recommend you guys definitely to go check it out, put it on your list. But as far as going back to Sri Lanka, I don't think it's exactly quite my fit. It'd be cool to do some more videos there and hang out with the locals. I mean, I got invited in by locals to stay the night at their house. Very, very unique experiences. So we'll see what the future holds. Maybe I'll be back someday. But as far as now, this might be my last video in Sri Lanka. So if it is, thank you guys so much for watching from Sri Lanka. I appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for joining me through this adventure. And I am currently in India, and I'm going to be filming here for the next 3 weeks or so. So that's it for this video. Bang that like and subscribe button if you found this video helpful. Enjoy your travels and safe journey. We will see you guys all in the next episode. See you guys.